We have a lot of issues in education. As we all know, there's a lot of things going on in education. It's not just looking at teachers and the environment that they have, but it's being innovative across the board. We need our teachers to be happy and well so that they can teach our students.
Lindsay Waechter is the Staff Wellness Coordinator for the rapidly growing Waukee School District, supporting nearly 2,500 employees. On this episode of Navigate's People First podcast, she shares how they're tackling the unique well-being challenges facing educators and support staff, moving beyond a one-size-fits-all approach to prioritize the health of those shaping our future.
So they chose something maybe wasn't top of the line. And so then when I came on, that was kind of the first thing I did was look at the platform. And I'm like, oh, we need to upgrade a little bit. I had known Navigate Wellbeing Solutions from a prior position. And so when I took it to the team, it was like, they're innovative. You all are innovative. We have to make a switch. Just being able to, send a message and say, hey, can we add this about blood pressure? We're seeing some really high, blood pressures. Can we add this? Boom, it was added.
Keeping teachers in the districts, is that part of your strategy? Is that why you prioritize that, or where does that fit in on the retention side?
We are investing in you. This is what we have to offer you, and this is why, because we want you to be healthy and well. And the longer that you're suffering from mental health, the long-term effects from that, we want to educate them so that they can live their lives in their retirement someday and be healthy and well.
Welcome, everyone, to the Navigate People First podcast. I'm your co-host, Troy Vincent, along with my friend and our Chief Technology Officer, Jeremy Knipper. Jay, welcome.
Thank you.
If you like what you hear of the People First podcast, please continue to subscribe and like what we're saying or talking about. And believe me, at Navigate, we listen. So send us your suggestions, your topics, for ideas, guests. We will listen and we will take them into consideration. So today we're diving into a crucial topic, elevating education by investing in the well-being of those who shape our future, our educators and the staff of our schools. I'm excited to introduce our special guest, Lindsay Waechter from the Waukee School District here in Iowa. Lindsay, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you here. Long drive. Appreciate you making your way. So you have a pretty unique role within the school system. Maybe give folks a little bit about your title, shed some light on the Waukee School District, how many employees, maybe give a little bit of background around that.
Yeah. So yes, I'm Lindsay Waechter, our Staff Wellness Coordinator. So dedicated towards our staff. They really kind of decided to create this role because we have a lot of issues in education. As we all know, there's a lot of things going on in education. And so really what I get to do is I get to work with people with the platform, but also I kind of have a dual role. So I do our staff wellness, but I also do a lot of safety things as well. If I can paint a little picture, our district has 21 school buildings, will be 21. We have 20 right now, 21 next year. We'll have over 14,000 students. We have 2,000 staff members. We have our natatorium. We have our operations buildings. We have our district office buildings. So we have a lot of staff. We have probably getting close to 2,500 staff members that we have that are trying to support our students and in the kind of environment that we have today.
And you've seen amazing growth in the last 5 to last year. I mean, it's been crazy, the growth there. How have you kept up with the growth? How have you evolved your program to keep up with that growth?
So the CFO really decided, just as a well-being side of things, how important it really was to make sure that we were keeping up. She has been passionate about well-being for years in all of her various roles. And so we knew when we have, if you can believe it, actually have, over 2,000 staff members, probably half of those are educators. And then the other half you're thinking about, you have nutrition workers, you have custodians, you have all of the other support staff. And so we had to look at a variety of different things. We had to be innovative on what we are offering all of our staff, because it's not just looking at teachers and the environment that they have, but it's being innovative just, across the board. So
when you talk about your CFO being involved and securing budget for well-being initiatives often requires buy-in from the leaders. You mentioned your CFO, which is fantastic. Your whole leadership, when they think about the well-being program and they think about prioritizing and allocating resources for the school and the teachers and administrators and all the support staff, how was that conversation? Did you walk into it? Yes, it was number one priority, or hey, this is a priority and we've built our pathway there.
I think that's kind of twofold. So I think most of all of our leadership team has been an educator prior to their roles. And so they have seen kind of what the day-to-day looks like for our staff. And so they were all bought in when that CFO is like, we got to do something, with the healthcare costs, with just the landscape. And so they were all on board. Yes, let's do it. And then they got a solution, a wellness solution, just we need something. So they chose something, maybe wasn't top of the line. And so then when I came on, that was kind of the first thing I did was look at the platform. And I'm like, oh, we need to upgrade a little bit.
Jeremy's going to love this.
I'm already.
He's ready to go.
Yep.
Just going to sit here and bask
right.
in the joy that is this.
That's right. And so I had known Navigate Wellbeing Solutions from a prior position. And so when I took it to the team, was like, they're innovative. You all are innovative. We have to make a switch. And they were 100% on board when I especially talked about the personalization and the variety of staff that we have. They were completely on board with having that total health personalization tool. So
you just want to take that in just for a little bit?
I feel like we can go now.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us podcast. And but Jay, the personalization, and you think about the key factors of why people switch, and making change is not an easy thing when it comes from switching platforms. But Jay, maybe talk about that change factor of how we've moved a significant amount of folks our way, but then also maybe talk about that personalization, why the importance to that.
Well, I think just to touch on one narrow topic of this, and that we see the difference in engagement rates, completion rates, and results from a health standpoint, lifestyle standpoint, clinical standpoint of a sort of traditional well-being program where here's a list of things, and a personalized well-being program where swapping those things out on the fly is significant. You can't underestimate the engagement rates that you can see go up by having a personalized program. The communications have to be going along with it as well. So to me, it was kind of a no-brainer when we, were kicking around this idea 4 years ago, but putting it into place was not easy. I mean, it's a significant investment, but the idea was basically, can we get better participant results? And absolutely, now 2 years into our total health programs, we're seeing exactly that. We're seeing, better biometrics based on personalizing a program. And that seems like such a very simple thing. But the engagement rates are higher, onboarding rates are higher, participation rates are higher. The entire platform's, sort of metrics are just better when the program is personalized. In some ways it's really surprising, and in other ways it's not at all surprising.
Lindsay, change isn't easy. When you made that change, maybe talk about the why of those changes from one to another.
Yeah, so it has been a challenge because people are like, wait, what are we doing? But I think people overall have been like, wow, I have really learned, certain things that I didn't know about stress or that I didn't know about blood pressure. And so they're seeing, to Jeremy's point, before I couldn't personalize things. And so just being able to, send a message and say, hey, can we add this about blood pressure? We're seeing some really high, blood pressures. Can we add this? Boom, it was added. And people were like, whoa, I didn't know that. And so that has been really cool with this change. Yes, it was a challenge at first, like, oh, I have to get on this new platform. But we made the single sign-on. That made it really easy for people. There was a learning curve with the app, but we have great app utilization as well. And so that's been a great change that people were asking for before as well, because they're running around all day, whether it's a custodian or a teacher. And so to have that device and be able to, utilize that's been huge as well that we didn't have prior. So that made it a little bit easier for the J.
Jay, how happy are you right now? You got platform change.
I'm on cloud 9, to be perfectly honest with you. Thank you. I don't let this go to my head. My wife's going to come home and, make me cook dinner and be like, hey, don't get too big-headed here.
By the way, Jeremy's wife is a school teacher too. So within the education sector, there's obviously incredibly rewarding job. It also presents its own unique set of challenges. From your perspective, what are some of the most pressing well-being issues that educators at Waukee might face?
They're similar to challenges that would be faced all around the world. They're just, we aren't quite sure what's going on in the government and the Department of Education. And so there's always that hanging there kind of as the mental wellness side of things. And it's just becoming more and more that teachers have to face. And so I think specifically for us, though, for well-being, we're looking at, we have musculoskeletal, people are on their feet and moving around, they're bending down, they're moving throughout the day a lot. So you have some musculoskeletal. The mental health is something that we do a lot of focus on as well. We have actually it's expensive for some of the cancer treatments. It's not our largest claims, but it's also one of those big things. We do have a lot of people who also are going in for their appointments. And so that's also important. And that's a larger claim too, but that's something we want to see. We want to spend more money on that, kind of personalized as well. And so we do spend a lot of time kind of focusing around those things as well. And then, there's some other outside things that we do for some of those things. But
let's do a deeper dive into the mental health side of things. Obviously, the pressures of educators are immense. Then you add in, the macro social issues right now that are going on with the Department of Education. You talk about all the different things that are going on with that. Elaborate a little bit on specific mental health. Are you thinking on the high stress, the struggle, work-life balance, the burnout? Maybe touch on those aspects of where you're maybe focusing on.
Yeah. So really, we're hitting them with those resources that, we have either locally, we have our EAP. I'm really excited. I know you're going to lead into some of the upcoming things as well, but really excited for some of the solutions from that side of things as well. We hit them with just stigma too. Like, what is the stigma? I know you all have some resources that I actually, on my own personal health, was able to go through some of those, just even meditation and just kind of coming down from the high stress that we're all experiencing. So I do think it's burnout. We have kids with higher needs now. And so that's also, can be really, really taxing on people, and just, the unknown of what's upcoming. And then just kind of looking forward to the summer breaks and all of the different breaks and all the things you have to cram in, and all of the parents are way more involved than they've ever been. And so you have, all of the emails and things that you're dealing with on that end of things too. And so the more solutions we can have so that they can have that work-life balance is huge.
And timing too. I think one of the things that we've made a disproportionate amount of effort toward is being able to self-select when you want to use the coaching, the content, and having that digital health available to you at when you need it. Jay, we spent a disproportionate amount of time on innovation, but also increasing our content and looking at those resources when it comes to what we're providing members. Maybe get a sneak peek of what's coming down the pike when it comes to our enhanced personalization, when it comes to the impact of the content that we're using now.
Oh, we've been investing heavily in content for many years. So we looked at the needs of our participants and our clients, and we said, what do we really need to, where do we need to spend our time and resources right now? One of them was clearly content. So we made a concerted decision to make a much better experience for the participants there. And we're going to be rolling out sizable resources when it comes to articles, especially around healthcare, tools, calculators, all those kind of fun things that you would want to see out of your well-being platform to help guide you, from an educational standpoint, but also new recipes and workout videos. The workout videos are incredible, by the way. They're coming up soon here in about, right around June. And they're going to be very, very good. But to me, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? We want to make sure that we're putting our resources where they can do the most good. When you talk about mental health, that's one of the places we've invested significantly. Our mental health coaching that's available right now at a fairly reasonable rate. Honestly, it's a inexpensive PEPM that anybody in the organization can have access to a mental health coach just by picking up the phone or by logging on and doing a video chat. We're really, really proud of that, especially the price point we were able to get it out as.
I think one of the things we concentrated too is calibrating content around women's health. And we think about the education arena of your perhaps maybe half of your employees are women. Maybe talk about that women's health and what you're doing today and maybe where your concentration is there.
I was very, very excited when I learned that that was kind of on the radar. We have looked at other solutions and things that we can do. We have a lot of women in the childbearing years, and we have a lot of women who are getting to that perimenopause and menopause. And we have our wellness PLC in Des Moines here, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Here's all these solutions, but if we're gonna have to pay for this, we have to pay for this. It's coming to talking about budget, we can't have 10 different solutions. So I think it's important that this piece is in there as well. So really, really grateful for that approach as well, because we're trying to support them. We have our EAP, which we can wrap into the platform as well, which is great. A lot of our solutions we can wrap into the platform for them to access, but we don't currently have a great solution for those people going through those phases other than just our EAP, which is, fairly generic resources, and just having the support from their leaders. So really excited.
And you've got some wonderful committees that you've created. You've got this infrastructure that you listen to, and you're gathering information. Maybe touch on how important those committees are and how you built out those committees to kind of help be your think tanks throughout the district.
Yeah. So in other capacities, other roles, I've always had a wellness committee, but I came in and I'm like, wow, we have 20 buildings. How do I communicate? How do I get around to all of these buildings myself? And so the first year it was kind of like, I'm driving all over the place, trying to meet anybody that I can. And so last year, as we were kind of deciding where we were going with this, you also had resources and tools. And I'm like, I'm just pulling from agendas and the different resources that you have as well and pulling from that. And we actually got one person from every building onto those committees. And then I meet with them once every other month. And then I have a core committee as well that is out into the buildings, and then our administration just kind of guiding, our decision making that we, are making. And so then I send out a survey to them. What do you think people would like? Because I can sit here behind a desk and decide, what we should do, but it's the people boots on the ground. And then also with the total health survey as well. That's kind of how we're deciding to plan for next year as well, kind of based on what people need and what they're investing their time into on the platform. And then kind of we have a broader survey as well. And we just kind of mush all of those together, people's thoughts from our committees and what the surveys say. And that's how we'll plan.
Yeah, that's one of the great things I love about the multiple variables in the engagement equation that we talk about here at Navigate. And you've added, multiple variables when it comes to like your engagement survey, your wellness committee, you're listening to folks on what they want, and then bringing that together in total health and bringing that data. And we always say using data for good. When you looked at, you mentioned earlier about pivoting on something and being able to get some more information out, particularly about cardiovascular, it used to be set it and forget it. Here's your well-being program. Now the evolving process is being able to look at that data as often as you want. Maybe talk about that back end, data source that you have available to you. And we have like all the account people into Des Moines today. So like if you want to say something nice about them, they'll probably hear you out in the boardroom. But maybe talk about that HR dashboard and then your account, the service that's provided you, because you're a pretty small team.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah. Yeah. So really it is me that is kind of creating all of this and just utilizing, people's opinion as I can. And so, having Lindsay and team on board to help kind of create what it was and how we got started has been huge. And what do other school districts or what are other people doing? And that played a huge role. And then the data that they send every day, we send out swag and all of that. They send over reports. So having all of that reporting, the monthly scorecard is huge to be able to show that to the CFO, who then can report to our finance committee and the school board as well, just to show these are where our dollars are going, our tax dollars and all of our money, as far as this program goes, this is where it's going. And they're showing, the steps that we've made. Last year, I think we were under 40% engagement, and now we're sitting at, I think, 56%. And so just in that first year, being able to get people on there and just with the solutions of being able to send reminder emails, because I couldn't do that through the last one. And so just the reminder emails, the touch points, and just those emails out to people have been huge. And it's the team really, whenever I have an issue or have a question, I get a response right back from either the support team or my account team. So it's been a great partnership.
Technology is one thing. We're always going to have people and humans helping on the other side, especially when it comes to people's health, making sure that, we continue to think that, helping people with their health is a privilege, whether it be a well-being technology or making sure that they have their password. Jay, engagement is often the biggest hurdle. When we think about that engagement driver toolkit that marketing and account management and technology all work together to kind of put that out, maybe touch on, just how that is prioritizing getting people on the platform and getting them to the right resources at the right time.
Well, I think you're hearing exactly how those toolkits are supposed to work in action right here, this story. And that the key things to keep in mind that you want to see: communications. You need a flexible system that can help you send the appropriate messaging out, and it's going to have all the baseline stuff, and you can just focus on all the nice to haves. You've got executive leadership buying in, and in your case, driving, which is even better. You've got your well-being committees. All of those things are building the foundation that's going to allow you to keep stacking on all of the different things you need, so that ultimately what you're getting, 40% participation to 50 or engagement to 56%. That's because of all of these things that you're doing. And you've got buy-in from, you've got the resources you need from a technology standpoint. You've got people that are there, and you're, essentially executing what needs to be done to drive a successful program. I'm just sitting here checking them off and going, oh my Lord, this is exactly what we would, what we have in ideal clients. And just go that, of course you're seeing success because you've got what you need. And that's super exciting.
That's where we love those think tanks that we use here at Navigate to really say, here, this is what these school systems in Texas are doing, in North Carolina and Iowa and Missouri, everywhere that we're doing work in, and how they're prioritizing and allocating their resources to best serve their constituents in the school system. When I think about, like, one of the things you guys did that was really unique, was fun, was that you made the transition of the program to a year-round structure. Not everyone does that. I love the fact that you did that, because summer's coming up and we want to energize everybody around the school. It's school's out, but it doesn't end there. So maybe talk about that transition to the whole year-round program.
Yeah. So, people it ebbs and flows in education, because you start off, you're excited still, you're busy, but people are getting in, they're invested. And then you hit summer break, but then people need something right at the beginning of the year. They're excited, they're going to get moving and all of that. And then you start to hit this lull of, okay, well, we have spring break, we're okay. But then you hit the end of the year, and it's like, I'm not doing anything. So then right at the end of the year, it's kind of like, okay, maybe we need to give them still a little bit of time to, to be able to be engaged. And the social piece, we heard from people, we're in this loneliness world right now with just the social media and all of that. And so we're trying to give them also a social outlet by doing corporate games, and you can earn points and things for that. And so we still want people to be engaged and have resources at their fingertips, even when they're not here. So it's just really important. Yeah.
Another example of, like, bringing in the benefits, bringing in the solutions that you have. I know you've got MSK, you've got some cardiovascular, you've got some cancer focus that you're doing. Then also bringing in community events as well that connects people to that. To me, I think about that as a retention tool as well, keeping teachers in the districts. Is that part of your strategy? Is that why you prioritize that, or where does that fit in on the retention side?
Yes, definitely. As everyone probably knows, it's hard to keep teachers, right? Because yes, we're recruiting. And so constantly just trying to showcase the things that we're doing. We have wellness solutions. We are letting people use our district facilities. We're trying to let people know, we do prioritize your health and well-being, because it's hard. Teaching is hard, and it's only gotten harder and gonna get harder. And so just really letting people know that we do have solutions, that we're really, really trying to help in a healthcare realm. We're trying to set people up for success, and financially, we're trying to set ourselves up for success. And we want people to know that, we are a healthy district in all capacities. And so we really are trying to recruit, and then, showing the current people that we are investing in you. This is what we have to offer you, and this is why, because we want you to be healthy and well. And the longer that you're suffering from mental health, the the, long-term effects from that. We want to educate them so that they can live their lives in their retirement someday and be healthy and well. So
one of the things I'm particularly proud about at Navigate, and I know you guys have had success with this, is reaching diverse audiences, not necessarily from a job standpoint, right? Half your population is an educator. The other half is administrative or support or doing something else. Can you talk a little bit about the success you've seen reaching out to people in diverse work roles?
yeah, as you mentioned, it's just not a one size fits all solution. And so it's so fun when I can deliver swag or whatever it is to a custodian and they're so excited about it. And it's just those little moments that they know that they're appreciated. And for me, it's what a math teacher needs is going to be different than what someone who's working in nutrition needs. And so just being able to offer those different solutions for someone who is in a classroom, maybe it is a mental health issue, but then, because their workload is so much, but then you have a custodian who has back pain because they've been bending over mopping. And again, also looking at the ergonomics of that as well. But then, having a solution for them as well, whether it's a financial solution because maybe they're not making as much. And so having that financial solution, I think, is huge too. And also for the educators. I mean, I think a lot of these tools, all of the staff can utilize, but I think we have such a diverse, work group that it has been huge just to be able to say, hey, oh, that's what you're struggling with. Here's a solution. And the findhelp.org. In every orientation that I have, I offer that up and I just let them know, like, your mental health is important to us. If you are struggling in different capacities, you can get on our Navigate platform and you can search whatever you can search your zip code there. You're laughing.
Okay, that might be my best day ever, like moment right there. I love that because I'll tell you. So findhelp.org, I love that you mentioned that. And I mean that sincerely because, there's an investment that we put into that 4 years ago, Jay. And we're really starting to see where people are going and utilizing that. And one of the aspects is, one, we want to help people and serve them, right? Where they're located at. But the other is, instead of having someone having to call you in for resources, they're able to do that on their own. And sometimes that's a tough question to ask. And so when you think about that, all of that has been worth it. I mean, all the investment that we put into findhelp.org and integrating it into our system, that's a hero technology status there, Jay. That's fantastic.
Thank you. I am a little at a loss for words because it's not often that I get to see numbers and spreadsheets about what our utilization rates are. And it's not often I get to talk to somebody who's taking advantage of these things that we spent a ton of time, in some cases, working on, the toolkits for building wellness committees. That's one of those things that goes under the radar for me by and large, or utilizing findhelp.org. I see the numbers of it, but I don't feel the impact. And that's one of the reasons I love having people like you on this.
We need to do that sometimes, Jay, is like, we need to like take the picture of the marker board to like the actual schematics to where we actually build and then the actual end result and the data. We need to like put that into a video or something because, one, it's hilarious that people can read our scratches. Two, that we actually get this done and we're able to build it. But to see the effect of it, honestly, it's again, it's a privilege to be able to serve people when it comes to their health and seeing how we do things uniquely different at Navigate. And I'm proud of that. That is just how we go do that. And then to have our largest school district in Iowa leading the way when it comes to what schools are doing for their entire population is just, it's a feel good. It's a feel good. I love it. So Lindsay, one of the unique things you have at Waukee, you have over 22 nurses on staff. Maybe touch on that and how those nurses are not only helping the teachers, but they're obviously focused on the kids. But how are you balancing that student health and, teacher health, employee health at the district?
I am very blessed to have the nurses. When I first started, they were my go-to. They still are. But now that I have some wellness champions, I'm trying to take some off their plate. They're dealing with a whole lot of things. They've got students who have medications every single day. So they are constantly having kids in and out. And so also for them, I always remind them about their own mental health as well. But I also am very lucky. We also have a dietitian on staff as well. So her and I try to work closely together to work on some of the student wellness things that I think that would be really helpful. Because at the end of the day, we need our teachers to be really well, so happy and well, so that they can teach our students, and so that our students can learn at the highest capacity that is possible. But as far as the nurses, they have been huge and pivotal. And every time I'm like, hey, we just got funding to have a blood pressure cuff put out. If I bring that to you, can you find a spot to put that for me? And they're in. They are so dedicated. Yes, they are dedicated to our students. But if a staff member comes in and was like, hey, I need my blood pressure taken, or I need this or that, they're the first to respond. Even though that's not a part of their job description, they are always a huge help in all of the things that I am doing. And then, for their own staff and students.
Fantastic. I love it. So we have a closing segment. It's called Best Day Ever. What we try to do is just, maybe talk about something that's good in your life, maybe rather personally or business wise, and we end on that good. So Lindsay, maybe give us a good that has been going on.
I was thinking about this, and I had something recently happen that I thought was just like, it brought me to tears. It was my birthday a couple weeks ago. It was over spring break, and I had my boys at home, couldn't get them into care. That was a whole thing. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to go out for breakfast. It's my birthday. Let's just go out to breakfast. So we went to a local coffee place at the Coffee Smith, and we went to order. And I was like, we'll have 3 sandwiches. I'll have a coffee. And my littlest was like, it's my mom's birthday today. And it was the cutest thing. And the guy behind me was like, put a black coffee on that and I'll take the bill. And he took the whole bill. He sandwiches and all brought me to tears just because I'm like, there's so much going on in the world today. And for someone to financially take on someone's bill, it was just the nicest thing that has happened for a while. And I haven't had a lot of that, kindness. I get a lot of kindness, but that was one that was just like, oh, that brought me
outside the doors of school.
Yeah. It was very cool.
Well done, good Samaritan guy. Amazing what a cup of coffee will do. I love it. That's great. Jay, what do you got?
I had one prepared, but I'm changing it. I'm saying today is best day ever. Hearing a use case of what we do here day in and day out, and that it's making a difference and it's doing what we want it to do and making your life a little bit easier and making people a little bit healthier, and getting to hear that you appreciate that. I'm calling that best day ever for me. Thank you.
Of course.
My best day has to go. So one of our first employees, her name's Trista Humble. Her name now is Trista Spencer. Trista worked for us, has 3 beautiful kids with her husband, Mike, and they're in the Waukee School District. And Trista decided to go back to school, and now she is a teacher's assistant with helping out with kids with special needs. And she's just an amazing person. She happens to be my wife's best friend. And to see Trista in that setting and how she's helping and what she's doing at Waukee Schools is like one of my favorite things. And so like to see her growth and the kids that she helps, it's just awesome. And she had no idea I was going to say anything about this, and she'll be embarrassed about it, but an amazing person who is driving to help those that need help the most, and helping out the school as well. And so I love it. It's just that's my best day ever. Well, we do have a present for you because it's the best day ever. You do get a Navigate vest.
Oh, well, thank you.
Check it out. I hope it fits. If not, we've got sizes. So Lindsay, thank you for being part of the podcast. I'm so grateful for your energy and what you're doing for the school system here in Iowa. And thank you for being just an ambassador of Navigate. And to all those that are out there in HR, thank you for what you do every single day. What you do help those teachers every single day to help those kids that are in our communities. And so what you do is worth it. From our school teachers to our HR to everybody that is helping in those school buildings. Thank you for all that you do for others. Keep doing good things, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.